In this video, we will be solving questions from the chapter of derivatives. I have taken these sums from the Maharashtra government textbook, Maths 12th standard. It is exercise 1.5. Let's begin with all our questions. Find the second order derivative means we need to find d2y by dx square for all these functions. In general, we will say that let all these functions be equal to y. So if you take a first derivative, then dy by dx is, the derivative here will be 2 into 5, that's 10 x power 4 minus 4 into 3, that's 12 x square. Now this is like x power minus 2. So minus 2 comes out, and that minus 2 into minus 2 makes it plus 4. And then there will be x power minus 3. So this will be upon x cube. And then there will be minus 9. The derivative of it will be 0. Take a second order derivative. So you can say that d by dx of dy by dx, that's the second order derivative. And you can write that as d2y by dx square. So this basically is the derivative of dy by dx only. Take a derivative here, that will be 40x cube, minus take a derivative here, and that will be 24x, and take a derivative here. So this is like x power minus 3. The derivative is minus 3 x power minus 4. 4 into minus 3 makes it minus 12, and x power minus 4 is x power 4 in the denominator. And yeah, that's your second order derivative for the first question. Take the second one. If that function is taken as y, then dy by dx, that will be e power 2x into derivative of tan x, which is sec square x, plus tan x into the derivative of e power 2x is e power 2x into 2. And now we take a second order derivative. So d2y by dx square, which is the derivative of the full thing here, that will be e power 2x into the derivative of sec square x, that's e power 2x into 2 sec x, into the derivative of sec x, which is sec x tan x, plus we have sec square x into the derivative of e power 2x, which is 2 times e power 2x, plus we have the derivative of this, so that's 2 tan x into 2 times e power 2x, so that makes it 4 e power 2x into tan x, plus we will have 2 times e power 2x into the derivative of tan x, which is sec square x. A couple of simplification steps can be done over here. You can pull out e power 2x common from the entire thing. So you will have the double derivative d2y by dx square as e power 2x. Okay. So that will leave us with 2 times sec square x tan x as our first term. Plus we have 2 sec square x over here. And we have a 2 sec square x here as well. So that will make it plus 4 sec square x. Plus from this term we will be left with 4 tan x. Yeah, that should be it. That's the expression of d2y by dx square for the second question. Take the third one, d2y by dx square. The first thing dy by dx. The first order derivative will be e power 4x. The derivative of cos 5x, which is minus 5 sin 5x. Plus we will have cos 5x into the derivative of e power 4x, which is 4 times e power 4x. Let's go for a different way here. Let's take e power 4x common from the entire term, from the two terms here. So that will leave us with 4 cos 5x minus 5 sin 5x. And we will take a double derivative now. That's the derivative of e power 4x into the bracket here. So that will give us e power 4x into derivative of that bracket will be 4 into minus 5 sin 5x, which makes it minus 20 sin 5x. And derivative of the last term will be minus 5 into 5, which is 25 cos 5x. It's not yet over because plus we need to go for v into the derivative of u. That's 4 cos 5x minus 5 sin 5x into 4 times e power 4x. A simplification can be done in this step as well. E power 4x can be taken common from the two terms. This is minus 20 sin 5x. Let's take that 4 inside. So this will be minus 20 sin 5x. So minus 20 and minus 20 make it minus 40 sin 5x. There's a minus 25 here, and 4 into 4 will make it plus 16. Minus 25 and plus 16 will leave me with minus 9 cos 5x. And yeah, that will be the final expression of d2y by dx square for the the third question. Take the fourth one. So dy by dx, that will be x cube into 1 upon x, that will be x square, plus log x into 3x square. So 3x square log x. You can pull out that x square common if you want. Even if you don't do it, still you can find the double derivative. The derivative of x square 2x plus the derivative here will be 3 times x square into log x. So the derivative is x square into 1 upon x, which is x, plus log x into the derivative of x square, which is 2x log x. Expand the bracket and get a simplified expression. The simplified expression will contain a 3x plus 2x, which is 5x. So the final answer will be 5x plus 6x log x. Continuing with the fifth one, log of log x. So if I go for dy by dx, that will be initially 1 upon log x into the derivative of log x, which is 1 upon x. So I can think of it as 1 upon x log x. Then there's a d2y by dx square. You can consider this entire expression as 1 upon x. So the derivative of 1 upon x is minus 1 upon x square. So this is minus 1 upon x log x the whole square into the derivative of x log x, that is x into derivative of log x, which is 1 upon x. So x into 1 upon x, which is 1, plus log x into the derivative of x, that is log x into 1. So yeah, that's the expression of d2y by dx square for the fifth question. Take the sixth one. Okay, there's a typing error here in the textbook, but that's the sixth question. Okay, so y is x power x, and in one of the previous exercises we have learned that you need to take a log on both the sides and then take a derivative. The final dy by dx will turn out to be x power x 1 plus log x. It's a result that you are expected to remember, and for that term we will now take a double derivative. So that's u and that's v. So we have x power x, the derivative of this will be 1 upon x, plus we have 1 plus log x. Multiply that with the derivative of x power x, which is x power x 1 plus log x. A little simplification, so x power x can be taken out common, and you will be left with 1 upon x plus, it's 1 plus log x into 1 plus log x, so that's 1 plus log x the whole square. Yeah, that's your answer for the sixth question, and with that we are done with the first main question. We can now continue with the second main question. So the first one, you need to find d2y by dx square for each of the following functions. The first thing you need to do is find dy by dx. Now because these are all parametric functions, dy by dx will be dy by d theta upon dx by d theta. Y is over here, so the derivative of it will be you can say a into 0 minus of minus sine theta, which is a sine theta, and in the denominator you are going to have a into 1 minus cos theta. So cancel off that a in the numerator and denominator. Sine theta can be written as 2 sine theta by 2 cos theta by 2. The denominator is 1 minus cos theta, that's 2 sine square theta by 2. Cancel off a 2 up and down. Sine theta by 2 gets cancelled, and we finally have cos theta by 2 upon sine theta by 2, which is cot theta by 2. So dy by dx is cot theta by 2. Now here's where you need to be very careful. What you require is d2y by dx square. So we will say that d2y by dx square, that is the derivative, which is d by dx of dy by dx. And we know that dy by dx is cot of theta by 2. So this is d by dx of cot of theta by 2. Now keep in mind that you're not taking a derivative with respect to theta. You're taking a derivative with respect to x. So the derivative of cot theta by 2, that will be minus 1 upon 2 cosec square theta by 2. This much is fine, but you cannot stop here because you were taking a derivative with respect to x. So in the end you'll have to multiply, you'll have to take a derivative of theta as well, and in the end you need to multiply this with d theta by dx. Now d theta by dx is the reciprocal of dx by d theta, and dx by d theta can be obtained from here. So the final answer is minus 1 upon 2 cosec square theta into the reciprocal of dx by d theta, which is a into 1 minus cos theta. So that a into 1 minus cos theta is dx by d theta. We need to take its reciprocal. So that will be a 1 minus cos theta in the denominator. You can simplify this further also. You can leave it here, it's absolutely fine. But if you want to simplify, this becomes 2 sine square theta by 2. 1 minus cos theta is 2 sine square theta by 2. So there's a 2 and 2 getting multiplied here, and that will give me a minus 1 by 4. There's a minus 1 by 4a in fact. Even that a is there in the denominator. And sine square theta by 2 can go up in the numerator and can be written as cosec square theta by 2. Cosec square theta by 2, so this was theta by 2 here. So yeah, in the numerator you are going to have cosec power 4 theta by 2. Yeah, and that's the final d2y by dx square for the first question. In a similar way, you need to answer the other three. So I have x and y with me. Dy by dx, that's pretty clear. It's dy by dt upon dx by dt, which is 4a upon 4at. So that's 1 upon t. And now when I want d2y by dx square, I know that this is d by dx of dy by dx, which means it's a d by dx of 1 upon t. The derivative of 1 upon t, it's pretty simple, 1 upon t square. But because I took a derivative with respect to x, I'll multiply this with dt by dx. But then dt by dx is the reciprocal of dx by dt. Dx by dt is 4at and its reciprocal will be 1 upon 4at. So the final answer, that's the final value of d2y by dx square, for the second question turns out to be minus 1 upon 4at cube. Yeah, that's how we are answering the second one, and with that we go on with the third one. Dy by dx, that's dy by d theta, which is 3 sine square theta cos theta, upon dx by d theta, which is simply cos theta. So cancel off cos theta, and that's dy by dx. D2y by dx square, that's d by dx of dy by dx, but the dy by dx is 3 sine square theta. 3 goes out, and the derivative of sine square theta, that is 2 sine theta, into the derivative of sine theta, which is cos theta. And because I took a derivative with respect to x, I multiply this with d theta by dx. So this becomes 6 sine theta cos theta. D theta by dx is the reciprocal of dx by d theta. Dx by d theta is cos theta, and its reciprocal will be 1 upon cos theta. So yeah, I am multiplying this with 1 upon cos theta. Cos theta gets cancelled, and I am left with 6 sine theta as the final value of d2y by dx square. Final expression. And the value of that double derivative at theta is pi by 2 will be 6 into sine pi by 2, that is 6 into 1, which is equal to 6. So yeah, that's the answer for your third question. The fourth one, we have again dy by dx as dy by d theta, that's b cos theta, upon dx by d theta, that's minus a sine theta. This becomes minus b upon a cot theta. d2y by dx square, we need to take a derivative of this and then multiply it with the derivative of theta with respect to x. So this will be b upon a cosec square theta, into we will have d theta by dx. So that's b upon a cosec square theta, d theta by dx. So dx by d theta, that's minus a sine theta, the reciprocal of it minus 1 upon a sine theta. Yeah, so the final answer is minus b upon a square. That sine theta in the numerator can be written as cosec theta. So minus b upon a cosec cube theta, and that's the final value of d2y by dx square. But I need the numerical value at theta as pi by 4. So put theta as pi by 4, cosec pi by 4 is root 2 and its cube will be 2 root 2. So minus 2 root 2 b upon a square is the final evaluation for the fourth question. Proceeding with the first first question of the third main question. Find d2y by dx square in a similar way. So dy by dx, that's 2a upon 2at. So 2a upon 2at will be 1 upon t. So d2y by dx square, that's going to be the derivative of this, which is minus 1 upon t square, into the derivative of this and its reciprocal. The derivative of this 2at, its reciprocal 1 upon 2at, and d2y by dx square is minus 1 upon 2at cube. Let's try to evaluate this. So xy d2y by dx square plus a becomes x into y, so that's 2a square t cube, into d2y by dx square, which is minus 1 upon 2a t cube plus a. So this becomes 2 gets cancelled with a 2, a gets cancelled with an a, t cube gets cancelled, and I am left with simply an a here with a minus 1. So this becomes minus a plus a, which is equal to 0. And yeah, I have proved that this is indeed equal to 0. I have answered the first question there, and I proceed with the second one. Let's proceed with the second question. Well, I am not too sure over here whether we should take a log or we can proceed straight away. Let's try proceeding straight away, and if needed, I mean, if we cannot find a solution by the direct method, we will try taking a log. So currently, let's take a derivative directly. So we have dy by dx is e power m tan inverse x multiplied by the derivative of tan inverse x, and that is m upon 1 plus x square. This term is the same as y, so dy by dx will be m into y upon 1 plus x square. Okay, I think we will not require taking a log here. So we have my upon 1 plus x square as dy by dx. Let's take a double derivative. So d2y by dx square will be, m is a constant that stays out. This will be differentiated with the u by v rule. So we have v into the derivative of u minus u into the derivative of v, the whole upon v square. This will further be equal to m into 1 plus x square dy by dx. Now see, we don't have any y term, which means that y term needs to get eliminated, and a dy by dx term is the only term which should stay. So minus, I will try to eliminate something from here. So I can find the value of y in terms of dy by dx from this equation. Y will be 1 plus x square the whole upon m into dy by dx. So we will substitute y as 1 plus x square upon m into dy by dx, and into we have a 2x here. This is only the value for y. Into we have 2x, and the whole upon 1 plus x square, the whole square is what we had. Now a 1 plus x square comes common from the two terms and gets cancelled with 1 plus x square in the denominator. So these two are gone, but a 1 plus x square will stay there in the denominator. You can take it on the left hand side, and when you do that, you have 1 plus x square into d2y by dx square, exactly the way we needed it out here. And here we will be having m into dy by dx. So that's m dy by dx. And then this m, when gets multiplied with this, gets cancelled with this m. And we will be left with minus 2x into dy by dx. So when we take all these terms on the left and take dy by dx common from the two terms here, we will have minus m dy by dx and plus 2x dy by dx. Then dy by dx comes out common, so we will be left with 2x minus m, just like they have in the question here. There's a little less space here, so I'm not writing it separately, but yeah, you just need to take the two terms on the left, take dy by dx common from the two terms, and you have your answer. Let's continue with question number 3. Again, it's the same thing. It's a parametric equation, so we need to first find dy by dx. That will be dy by dt, which is m e power mt upon dx by dt, and that will be minus sin t. We proceed with finding the double derivative. So the double derivative will be the derivative of this, and then you need to multiply that with dt by dx. That is the reciprocal of dx by dt, which you can get from here. Let's take a derivative of this. So I'll keep minus m outside, and then it's e power mt upon sin t. So u by v rule, that tells me that the derivative is sin t into m e power mt minus e power mt into the derivative of sin t, which is cos t, the whole divided by sin square t. Yeah, and that will be d2y by dx square, and we need to put the full thing in this equation now. So if we start evaluating the LHS, okay, I have missed multiplying this entire thing with dt by dx, and that dt by dx will be minus 1 upon sin t. So yeah, this minus 1 into this minus 1 gets cancelled, so the negative sign is out. Okay, there's an m here, and then this sin t and sin square t get multiplied, giving you a sin cube t in the denominator. Yeah, so now is where we start evaluating our LHS of the given expression, and we will prove that it is equal to the RHS, which is equal to 0. 1 minus x square, that will be 1 minus cos square t, which is sin square t into the double derivative. Now the double derivative is here, and when you multiply that with sine square t, the sine cube t gets cancelled and you will be left with only a sine t in the denominator. Split the two terms and you will be left with m and m e power mt minus e power mt cos t upon sin t will be cot t. That's the first term, minus x into dy by dx. So minus cos t into the full thing here. So that will be minus cos t into this thing. So the minus minus becomes plus. So we have plus m e power mt cos t upon sin t. I'll directly write that as cot t. And then you have minus m square y. So that will be minus m square e power mt. So when we expand the bracket here, we get m square e power mt. And then there's minus m e power mt cot t. It's very evident that this term and this term here is getting cancelled and the two terms here are getting cancelled. So that ultimately gives me a 0 which is equal to RHS. So yeah, that's how we are proving our third question. And with that, let's proceed with our fourth one. So y is given as x plus tan x. Let's go for a double derivative. Initially first a single derivative. That will be 1 plus sec square x. And the double derivative will be 0 plus 2 sec x into the derivative of sec x, that is 2 sec x into sec x tan x, and that will give me 2 sec square x tan x. Evaluating the full thing here now, so we have cos square x into the double derivative which is this, so 2 sec square x tan x. This is your LHS. Further in that expression you have a minus 2y, so that's minus 2, and y is x plus tan x, so minus 2x, minus 2 tan x, and then there's a plus 2x, so yeah, plus 2x is what will stay in the end. This gets cancelled with this, cos square into sec square x will be 1, so we have 2 tan x minus 2 tan x which is equal to 0, and that is your RHS. Yeah, that's how we are proving the fourth one, and with that we go ahead with the fifth one. Y is e power ax sin bx, y2 is the double derivative, y1 is the single derivative. So y1, they basically mean y1 is dy by dx, so this will be e power ax into cos bx into b plus a e power ax sin bx. It's basically u derivative of v plus v derivative of u. So y1 becomes e power ax, and we have b cos bx plus we have a sin bx. And yeah, let's carry on with y2. So that will be e power ax. The derivative of this, that's minus b square sin bx plus ab cos bx. Then there's plus a e power ax. And the bracket here, that's b cos bx plus a sin bx, and take e power ax common from the two terms, so this will give us plus ab cos bx, so ab cos bx plus ab cos bx, that makes it 2ab cos bx, and then we have a square out here, so with sin bx we have a square minus b square sin bx. Yeah, that's our double derivative which is y2, and now we need to evaluate this entire expression. So y2, which is this entire thing, let's select that and copy that on a new page. Yeah, so that's what y2 is. I have written y2. Beyond y2 I have minus 2a y1. So y1 is what I have right here. Let's write that along with this. So it's minus 2a into y1. So it's minus 2a into that full thing. And then we have plus a square plus b square into y, which is e power ax sin bx. So plus a square plus b square and e power ax sin bx. Yeah, so that is your LHS expression that you're trying to evaluate. Let's take e power ax common from all the terms. So we will be left with a a square minus b square sine bx. E power ax has gone out, and then we have minus 2a with this. So that gives us minus 2a square sine bx. I am writing only the terms in sine bx first, and later on I'll write the cos bx terms. And from here I will have plus a square sine bx. Oh, have I missed a term? Okay, no, it's plus a square plus b square sine bx. And then I'll write the terms with cos bx, which is 2ab cos bx, and then there's a minus 2ab cos bx. There's a plus 2ab cos bx from the first bracket and minus 2ab cos bx from the second bracket. So it's evident that these two terms are definitely getting cancelled. A square sine bx plus a square sine bx, that gets cancelled with the minus 2a square sine bx. Then we have minus b square sine bx plus b square sine bx. They also get cancelled. And finally this is e power ax into 0, which is equal to 0, and that was your RHS. So yeah, we have finally proved that this entire expression will be 0. And with that we go ahead with our sixth question. So in the sixth question I'll take sec on the other side, and I'll have 7x cube minus 5y cube upon 7x cube plus 5y cube equal to sec inverse m. Let's take a reciprocal. So, you can take a reciprocal on both the sides. So 7x cube plus 5y cube upon 7x cube minus 5y cube will be 1 upon sec inverse m. We go for a componendo dividendo. So that will give us 7x cube plus 5y cube plus 7x cube minus 5y cube upon 7x cube plus 5y cube minus 7x cube minus 5y cube in the bracket. So when you open up the bracket, it will be a minus 7 and plus 5. There's a minus 7 here and there's a plus 5 here. On the RHS, it will be 1 plus sec inverse m upon 1 minus sec inverse m. The entire thing here gets simplified to these two getting cancelled, these two getting cancelled. 14x cube upon 10y cube, which is basically 7x cube upon 5y cube. So I have 7x cube upon 5y cube, and that's 1 plus sec inverse m upon 1 minus sec inverse m. Let's take that 7 and 5 on the other side. So I have into 5 upon 7. It doesn't matter what I have on the RHS, because entirely that thing is a constant. And when I take a derivative, the right hand side is ultimately going to become 0. So take a derivative on both the sides now. So we will have y cube into 3x square minus x cube into 3y square dy by dx. The whole divided by y cube the whole square, which is y power 6. The RHS purely a constant, and that will be 0. Let that y power 6 go on the right. So 0 into anything will be a 0. This term goes on the right. So these two terms ultimately become equal. I can cancel off an x square here with an x cube here. Y square here with a y cube here. 3 with a 3 here. This x goes on the left, and dy by dx turns out to be y upon x. So yeah, we finally have dy by dx as y upon x, and that's where we take a double derivative. So d2y by dx square, and that will be x into dy by dx minus y into the derivative of x, which is y, the whole upon x square, and put that dy by dx here itself as y upon x. So when you do that, x gets cancelled with x, y minus y will be 0, and the double derivative ultimately turns out to be equal to 0. So we have shown this, and yeah, with that we can go ahead with our seventh question. Continuing with sum number 7. In this question, well, I've tried a couple of things. Initially I tried squaring it, so I got 4y square equals to x plus 1 plus x minus 1 plus 2 times root x plus 1 into root x minus 1, that is root x square minus 1. This becomes 2x, and then you can cancel a 2 throughout. So there was some simplification of this sort coming. I can take that x on the left and square again to eliminate the root. So differentiating with this kind of method was not really helping, and yeah, I've wasted a lot of time in finding an answer by that method. There's not much of simplification happening through that. So here the right method of going about this question is take a derivative straight away instead of any simplification. 2y, the derivative will be 2y1, and on the right, the derivative here will be 1 upon 2 root x plus 1 into the derivative of x plus 1, which is 1, plus 1 upon 2 root x minus 1 take that 1 upon 2 common from here and take it on the left hand side. So that 2 goes on the left. This 2 becomes 4. I can add up the two terms here. So that's going to give me 4y1. That will be root x plus 1 plus root x minus 1, but that is 2y. So I have 2y upon root x plus 1 into root x minus 1, that is root over x square minus 1. Cancel off the 2 here with the 4 here, so you have 2y1, and then take a derivative again. So 2y2 becomes root over x square minus 1 into the derivative of y, which is y1, minus y upon 2 times root x square minus 1 into 2x, but that 2 and the 2 that was to come here gets cancelled, and we are left with x. Upon we have x square minus 1, I mean the square of this. So x square minus 1, that x square minus 1 goes on the left, and this is what we are left with. So we have 2y2 into x square minus 1. We wanted 4y2 x square minus 1. So there should be a 2 coming from somewhere, and we'll see from where it comes. Equal to root x square minus 1 into y1. So root x square minus 1 into y1, that can be written as y upon 2 minus x into y upon root x square minus 1. Y upon root x square minus 1, I'll write that as 2y1. So I have x into 2y1. You can multiply throughout with 2 and take all terms on the left hand side. So that will give you 4y2 x square minus 1. This becomes minus 4x y1. I mean that goes on the left. So plus 4x y1. This becomes plus y on the right. So minus y on the left. And yeah, that's how you are getting your 7th question's solution. Let's move on with sum number 8. Y is log of something to the power m, that m can be taken out, and y will be m log something. So when we take a dy by dx, we have m upon the full thing here, which is x plus root x square plus a square, into the derivative of that very term, that is derivative of this, that will be 1 plus 1 upon 2 root x square plus a square, into the derivative of x square plus a square, which is 2x. So 2 gets cancelled, and you can actually club the two terms here. So this will be m upon x plus root x square plus a square multiplied by its root x square plus a square plus x, the whole upon root x square plus a square. The denominators here and here get cancelled, and finally dy by dx is m upon root x square plus a square. And yeah, that's it. This is where we need to take a double derivative. So d2y by dx square, that will be, consider the entire thing as x. So 1 upon x, the derivative is minus 1 upon x square. So minus m upon x square plus a square. Then x was root x square plus a square. So we need to take a derivative of root x square plus a square. That will be 1 upon 2 root x square plus a square into the derivative of x square plus a square, and that is 2x. So I'll cancel off that 2 here and here. Look at this very carefully now. X square plus a square goes on the left. So you have x square plus a square into d2y by dx square. And m upon root x square plus a square. M upon root x square plus a square, that is dy by dx. So we have minus dy by dx into x. So this is minus x dy by dx. The moment you take that minus x dy by dx on the left hand side, you have proved whatever the question was asking you to prove. So yeah, that's how we are solving our 8th question. With that, we go ahead with the 9th one. There's a similar example sum in your textbook with cos term here. And yeah, you need to solve it pretty much in the same manner. Take that sign on the other side. So sin inverse y will be m times cos inverse x. And you can go for taking a derivative now. So 1 upon root 1 minus y square into dy by dx. That will be minus 1 upon root 1 minus x square. Take this root 1 minus y square on the right. So dy by dx is minus of root 1 minus y square upon root 1 minus x square. And that's where you take a double derivative. So d2y by dx square, and that will be the derivative of this. Let that minus sign remain out. So we will have root 1 minus x square into 1 upon 2 root 1 minus y square into 2y dy by dx into, in fact, minus 2y dy by dx. So there's a 2 term getting cancelled here as well as here. So minus y dy by dx is the numerator. then there's a negative sign there, and yeah, we were differentiating this. So u derivative of v 1 minus y square into 1 upon 2 root 1 minus x square, and then there's a minus 2x in the numerator, so this 2 gets cancelled off with a 2 here. This minus makes this minus plus, or let's say when you take this minus inside, this minus gets cancelled, and this minus of minus was plus, that minus went inside and made that plus a minus again. So this minus is gone, and then there's a minus sign that's going to stay over here. The denominator is going to be 1 minus x square. Now as per the question, we need that 1 minus x square along with dy by dx. So let's write that 1 minus x square on the left hand side. So that will give us a 1 minus x square along with dy by dx, and dy by dx 1 minus x square, and that is equal to the full thing on the right hand side that you have. And you need to break it down to this. Now with x, what we have is dy by dx. So check this. X, and we have minus of root 1 minus y square upon root 1 minus x square, which basically is dy by dx only. So along with the minus sign, the two roots are going to form dy by dx. So here also, along with the minus sign, the two roots are forming dy by dx. So this becomes plus x into dy by dx. This is where I can put the value of dy by dx. When you put in the value of dy by dx, that dy by dx is minus of root 1 minus y square upon root 1 minus x square. You put it here. So the two roots out here are going to get cancelled and leave you with a minus sign along with y. So this term simply becomes minus y. And yeah, I am forgetting an m term here. So there should be an m here. So that means there should be an m here. Let's proceed with sum number 9. It's a sum similar to one of the example. Let's proceed with sum number 9. There's a similar sum in the solved examples if you check, and this sum needs to be solved in pretty much the same manner. Take that sign on the left hand side, so you have sine inverse y equal to m times cos inverse x, and that's where you take your first derivative. So 1 upon root 1 minus y square dy by dx, that will be minus m upon root 1 minus x square. Take this root on the other side and you have a dy by dx value as minus m root 1 minus y square upon root 1 minus x square. Here's where we will take a double derivative. So d2y upon dx square, let that minus m remain outside, and in the bracket you will have v into the derivative of u, that's root 1 minus x square, into 1 upon 2 root 1 minus y square, and then into minus 2 dy by dx, minus 2y dy by dx. There's a minus 2 here and there's a 2 here, so I am cancelling off that 2. So that 2 and the 2 here is gone. Now, okay, there's one more term. We will first write that one term, and this is minus y with the multiplication. Yeah, so the second term is minus u into the derivative of v. So root 1 minus y square into the derivative of this. So root 1 minus y square upon 2 root 1 minus x square into minus 2x. If this minus goes inside, first take that minus inside, so this minus gets cancelled. This minus becomes plus, but then there's a minus here which will make it minus again. So this remains minus. This one is gone here. There's a 2 going here and here. And now along with x, I have root 1 minus y square and root 1 minus x square. Take that m also inside. So when that m goes inside, I have m along with this. And then there's an m along with this. Now minus m root 1 minus y square upon root 1 minus x square. That entire term is dy by dx. And along with that entire term, we have x. So the entire term along with minus is consumed in writing that dy by dx, and an x term will be left along with it. So the second term fully becomes plus x dy by dx. Check this term here. You can put the value of dy by dx out here from the expression here. So when you put dy by dx as minus m root 1 minus y square root 1 minus x square, you'll observe that the two roots here are getting cancelled, but the m term gets multiplied with this. So finally d2y by dx square. I forgot an important term there. The denominator would have been the square of 1 minus x square, and that square of 1 minus x square needs to be taken on the left. So initially we will be having 1 minus x square d2y by dy square, d2y by dx square, and the value for that thing will entirely be this. So this is equal to, like I said, all these terms are getting cancelled, and m gets multiplied with the minus m that was there with dy by dx. This becomes minus m square y and plus x dy by dx. Take everything on the left and you will get whatever they were asking for, whatever the question was asking you for. Proceed with the 10th one. Log of log 2x, and we need to show this. So y2 out here is the double derivative. Let's find the first derivative y1. So y1 is dy by dx, and that will be 1 upon log 2x into 1 upon 2x into the derivative of 2x, which is 2. This gets cancelled here, so we are left with 1 upon x here, and 1 upon x log 2x is dy by dx. So y2 becomes, this is 1 upon x. So the first derivative will be minus 1 upon x log 2x the whole square, that is x square log 2x square. Then take a derivative of x log 2x, that will be x into 1 upon 2x into 2 plus log 2x. So this simply becomes 1. So 1 plus log 2x is the derivative there. And let's put these terms in the expression here on the LHS. So on LHS I'll have x multiplied by the entire thing here. So that will give me minus 1 upon x log 2x the whole square. Then we have 1 plus log 2x plus y1. That y1 is 1 upon x log 2x into 1 plus y1. So 1 plus 1 upon x log 2x. Combine the terms here. 1 plus x y1. So it's x upon the whole thing here. So this x cancels off the x here. And 1 plus 1 upon log 2x, that will be log 2x plus 1 upon log 2x. But then this log 2x and log 2x get multiplied, giving you x log 2x the whole square. And this one just goes off. And finally, these are the terms that we are left with. So 1 plus log 2x upon x log 2x the whole square with a plus sign, and the same term here with a minus sign. So they get cancelled, giving you a 0, and that is in turn equal to RHS. That's how we are solving our 10th sum, and let's proceed with the 11th one. So you have been given some equation here. You need to show that the double derivative is this. Start differentiating this. So that's going to give you 2x plus 6 into x dy by dx plus y plus 2y dy by dx. On the right hand side it will be 0. You can pull out a 2 common from all these terms. So this will be 2, 3 and a 2 here. Expand the full thing and first find dy by dx. So we will have 3x plus y with dy by dx, which will go in the denominator. So that will give us 3x plus y here. And on the numerator on RHS, you will have minus y minus 3y, minus x minus 3y. So minus of 3y plus x. Take a double derivative, so d2y by dx square. That will be the denominator being 3x plus y the whole square. And in the numerator, it will be 3x plus y into the derivative of the full thing here, which is minus 3 dy by dx minus 1. Then it will be minus of minus, that makes it plus 3y plus x into the derivative of this, which is 3 plus dy by dx. Let's continue with that on a new page. So our d2y by dx square is, like we had 3y plus 1, 3y plus x the whole square in our denominator. In the numerator it is 3x plus y as our first term. then there is minus 3 into dy by dx minus 1. This needs to be multiplied with minus 3. Do that, you get 9y plus 3x in the numerator. So 9y plus 3x the whole upon, it's 3x plus y. To it we are subtracting 1. And if I continue that expression here, I'll just continue it here. So from that I need to subtract. In fact, I need to add 3y plus x. And 3 plus dy by dx. So 3 minus the whole thing here. So that's 3 minus 3y plus x upon 3x plus y. Let's simplify this first. So that will be 9x plus 3y. 9x plus 3y and minus 3y get cancelled. 9x plus x is going to make it 10x. So I have, sorry, there was a minus in the middle. So that will be 9x minus x, which is equal to 8x. Let's simplify this. So I have 9y plus 3x minus y. So that's making it 8y here. So I have 8y upon 3x plus y, plus I have 3y plus x and 8x upon 3x plus y. So I think I've made a mistake in the denominator here. Yeah, the denominator is 3x plus y the whole square. So it's 3x plus y the whole square. This 3x plus y comes common from the two terms. When you take it common, that goes to the denominator and makes it 3x plus y the whole cube. In the numerator, you have 8 coming common from the two terms, and then you will have 3xy plus y square. Plus from here you will have 3xy again plus x square. Now 3xy plus 3xy makes it 6xy. 6xy plus x square plus y square. That, as per the given question, is going to be 10. So the entire bracket out here becomes 10, and that 10 into 8 becomes 80. So d2y upon dx square becomes 80 upon 3x plus y the whole cube. And yeah, that's what we had to prove in this question, and we have done it. Moving on to the last question in this video. X and y are given. So dy by dx, first of all, will be found with the parametric pattern. Dy by dt upon dx by dt. Dy by dt is minus a sin t plus b cos t upon dx by dt, that's a cos t plus b sin t. And then you take a double derivative d2y by dx square. So that will be the derivative of this with respect to x multiplied with dt upon dx. Let's take a derivative of this. So that will be a cos t. I'll just write cos t as c and sin t as s for now. So a cos t plus b sin t into the derivative of this, that is minus a cos minus b sin. The whole thing minus a sin plus b cos, the whole into this, which is minus a sin plus b cos, the whole thing divided by a cos plus b sin the whole square. Now the denominator already contains y square. Okay, into, we had to go for dt by dx, which is the reciprocal of dx by dt. Dx by dt will be a cos plus b sin, and the reciprocal of it is a cos plus b sin. So check this, the denominators get multiplied. That's a cos plus b sin the whole cube. And if you check it carefully, a cos plus b sin is y. So in the denominator we get our y cube term. And let's try to simplify the numerator now. A cos, okay, I can pull out a minus common from here. So this is minus of a cos plus b sin the whole square. This is b cos minus a sin the whole square. So minus b cos minus a sin the whole square. So expand the bracket here, and I have minus of a square cos square plus b square sin square plus 2ab sin cos. And from that we will subtract the square of this, which is minus b square cos square plus a square sin square, and there's a minus 2ab sin cos. We can pull out the minus common from the two terms. So when I pull out a minus common from the two terms, I'll be left with minus of the two brackets here with a plus. When you add up the two brackets, 2ab sine cos and 2ab sine cos gets cancelled. A square cos square plus a square sine square will make it simply a square into 1, which is a square. B square sine square plus b square cos square will also be b square into 1, which is b square. So in the numerator I am left with a square plus b square. So I have minus of a square plus b square in the numerator upon y cube. Let's mark that as 1. And now to prove that a square plus b square is x square plus y square, why don't you simply square them and add them up? So if you just go for x square, I'll rub this out. So we have x square as a square sine square t plus b square cos square t minus 2ab sine cos. Take a square of this, so y square will be a square cos square plus b square sine square plus 2ab sine cos. The term here and here gets cancelled, and when you add them up, the two terms get cancelled. And you see that you have a square sine square plus a square cos square, which is a square into 1, which is simply a square. Even this will similarly become b square. So ultimately we are proving that x square plus y square is a square plus b square. And when you put it here, you have whatever you had to prove in this question. So yes, that's where we are done with the entire chapter of derivatives. I hope that the contents of this video have been someplace somewhere helpful to you in your preparations. Do check out other videos in this playlist. Thank you for watching.